Good afternoon and welcome to Winchester News Online. I'm Elliot Macvie. And coming up today, a Winchester local takes the Dragons by storm, vegetable oil is the new diesel, and we step into a world of pure imagination. A dementia diagnosis is one of the hardest things a family can go through, but one Winchester local may have just made the experience that tiny bit easier. Last week, Jane Sibley took Dragon's Den by storm, pitching SibStar, an app designed to support dementia patients against scams and overspending. Jodie Kelly investigates.
Cooking, cleaning, the tasks we're all used to, but for someone living with dementia, they can be a challenge. How are you supposed to remember who you can trust with your money when you can't even remember how to do the washing? But that's where SibStar comes in.
SibStar is a debit card and app for people living with dementia. The debit card is preloaded with your chosen amount of money, and then there's an app that sits on your caregiver's phone, and it's within that app that you can set how and where that money is used. So you can set monthly spending limits, daily spending limits. You can set how much is taken out of the cash point. You can also switch off cash point withdrawals or online and phone spending. You're all about empowering people living with dementia to remain financially independent, financially included in the world, so they can continue living life the way they choose.
Hi, I'm Jane.
And I'm Marty, and we're the founders of SibStar. And today we're really happy to offer you 5% of our business for £125,000.
Last week, SibStar won a £125,000 investment on Dragon's Den by judges Sarah and Deborah, with Dragon Stephen congratulating Jane on how she had turned pain into purpose. But why exactly is SibStar so important for those with dementia?
Dementia people, they will take everything on trust. Whether they can then carry out what the scammer wants them to do may be an obstacle.
In the UK, nearly 1 million people live with diagnosed dementia. However, the figure is thought to be much larger. But still, lack of support is in place for those suffering with the condition.
Not having really a clue what was going on, and just like, why is she forgetting me? Like, did I do something?
Dementia is a horrible illness, and there needs to be more medical support out there for people.
Although SibStar is still a new app, it is a breakthrough in the way we talk about dementia. Jodie Kelly, Winchester News Online.
A new law in Iran has banned filmmakers from being able to speak their truth through the art of filmmaking. A film festival in Winchester has decided to take action on the matter. Alexandra Stapleton attended the screening to know more.
Last Thursday, the Winchester Film Festival held this final screening of Women, Life, Freedom, Part 2 called Whispers from Iran, at the Hampshire Record Office in Winchester. The festival was held to continue its commitment to screening films from countries and cultures where filmmakers face difficulties in showcasing their stories.
The biggest challenge was getting certificate from the government, because they don't give us certificates for making films which is related to these kind of cultural problems, political issues, and also stories which is related to the religious. So it was my main concern, so I had to risk and send another story to the government to take the certificate and then make another story.
The festival said this.
This year, Winchester Film Festival continues its commitment to screening films from countries and cultures where filmmakers face tremendous difficulties creating films which tell their own stories.
The screening included 6 intriguing short films from Iran, which left you thinking. These range from drama, animation, horror, war and comedy.
I'm quite interested in seeing Mirage because it's being debuted tonight, and I've got to write a review about it, and the director's here, I think, so it'll be cool to see what they have to say about it.
There's quite a few laws in Iran, quite difficult to release things. It's really good for people in Iran who want to become filmmakers, show them outside of the country, get their name out there.
The Winchester Film Festival has done it again with spreading awareness on topics of those who are silenced in their own countries. Will the festival continue to do this and help spread awareness of those voices who are unheard? This is Alexandra Stapleton for WINOL News Online.
Winchester's park and ride bus fleet is changing from diesel to vegetable oil fuels. It's part of a further plan to make Winchester carbon neutral. Reece Huggett has the latest.
Winchester City Council have announced that their park and ride bus fleet will be switching diesel for vegetable oils. The park and ride service, which is run by Stagecoach, will make the change to hydro-treated vegetable oils, or HVO, in the spring.
Well, the council has a commitment to become carbon neutral itself by the end of 2024 and to have a carbon neutral district by 2030. So reducing the carbon of our public transport and all our vehicles essentially is an important part of achieving that goal.
According to the City Council, it will reduce carbon emissions by up to 90%.
I mean, if it's not, affecting anything else, then yeah, it's great.
There are 5 park and ride car parks on the outskirts of the city centre, running from Monday to Saturday with a bus every 10 minutes during peak times. With more measures being taken to try and achieve carbon neutral in the future, it looks like this is a good step forward for the City Council. Reece, Huggett, Winchester News Online.
The artist who's designed and made the sculpture of Greta Thunberg at the university's West Downs campus has criticised the university for moving it. The £24,000 artwork by Christine Charlesworth was revealed to great fanfare 3 years ago outside the main entrance. But now the sculpture has been tucked away in a courtyard inside the campus. Molly Keane has been to meet the unhappy artist.
When Winchester University commissioned sculptress Christine Charlesworth to create a statue of Greta Thunberg, she was thrilled. She takes great pride in her work, and being asked to create the first sculpture in the world of Greta Thunberg, which would be displayed at the front of the university, she took her role very seriously. After the statue disappeared for 6 months for maintenance, she was incredibly disappointed to see that upon its return, the statue was not in the same place.
A sculpture, unlike a painting, can be viewed from all angles. You should be able to walk around a sculpture and see it from all angles. It's very sad, shoved up a corner.
But it's a statue which has always caused controversy.
When she was taken to site, students climbed over and they wrestled with the statue. It was a bad time for students that were there at the time because there were people who wanted money during lockdown and things, and the money was already earmarked because of the building. It was percentage for art. It was never going to go to students or libraries or paying staff because it wouldn't have been allowed to be. Personally think it's a very relevant piece of art because the university is such a green university, to have someone who is, well, the greenest person I know, and she's young.
WINOL inquired for a further comment from the university but received no response. Molly Keane, Winchester News Online.
The University of Winchester hosted an inspiring book launch on the 7th of March. Breaking Boundaries is a selection of personal stories compiled from individuals over the UK, US, Africa and Europe who share their experiences with mental health. Eve Thompson went to find out more about the impact it has on daily lives.
Last Thursday, West Downs campus held the celebration of a new book release created by former student as well as a lecturer of the university. Katie Pether and Glenn Fosbury worked together to compile a variety of personal accounts in the form of poetry and prose. Written from diverse perspectives, the first-hand accounts of those affected by mental ill health illustrate how it impacts daily lives. And with the hopes of combating the stigma surrounding it, Breaking Boundaries was created.
This book's certainly not going to eradicate those behaviours, but I think it may succeed in at least chipping away at them.
£1 of the book's proceeds go to Winchester Youth Counselling, a local charity providing mental health and well-being support to children and young people living in the district. The number of children and young people in contact with mental health services since 2016 has expanded at 4 times the pace of the psychiatry workforce, and the WIC believe that it is crucial to offer help and advice to those struggling before statistics increase.
This is a crisis and it needs more recognition.
According to WIC, it was said that in 2019, suicide was the leading cause of death in young people. The NHS has also claimed that 1 in 5 children and young people had a probable mental health disorder in 2023. A panel discussion during the launch highlighted the importance of creativity amongst individuals and how it can greatly aid mental ill health.
It needed to be said, and there was literally no time like the present. Like, we need to act now, and we are acting, but not quick enough.
It's always the hardest thing, I think that initial step to admit to yourself that you need help.
Where I realised just how important it was and how important it is to create a space where people can speak openly, share how they're feeling, but for people to also just read.
Sadly, mental ill health remains prevalent. However, it's small steps like these that can pave the way to a brighter future for our children and young adults. Eve Thompson, Winchester News Online.
From fire to smoke and to all the games, Incognito, a bar in Winchester, has been named Hampshire's craziest cocktail bar. Izzy Paul went to explore what makes this place so unique.
Welcome to Incognito, a popular cocktail bar and perfect date or celebration destination in Winchester. This bar has been named as Hampshire's craziest cocktail bar, and they originated in Winchester and has been running for 5 years now. It has opened various sites in London and a new one in Windsor. It's based on the ground floor of a historical building at the bottom of the high street, in an old hospital dating back to the 10th century. But this is not your typical cocktail bar. Incognito is a theatrical place where stories come to life in the art of mixology.
A lot of people do like the theatrical stuff, but not everybody get like the fire, generally quite like more intimate kind of venue we've got going on. The weird stories as well, the fact we've got characters like Chadwick, Lucinda, the twin boys over there, Mr. Monty. The fact there's like a whole kind of character and story behind it that all of the staff try and get behind as much as we can. Drinks having a story and the fact that they might not have the kind of drinks we have before makes it quite exciting.
Each cocktail averages around £16, but with locally sourced ingredients and handmade sets, it's easy to see why. The prep team at the bar are responsible for dehydrating their own fruits, making their own candy floss, and hand-making all their own added sweet treats. Every bartender has an in-depth experience and knowledge, and they get trained to the highest level, meaning each cocktail is perfected and unique.
A little bit of magic to your drink as well.
After a few quiet months after the rush of Christmas, the bar is increasing in business, especially as we head into the spring and summer months.
Izzy Paul, Winchester News Online.
That's all we have time for today. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.